Data Protection Commission is scaling up enforcement of the Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843, which, among other things, requires data controllers to register with the Data Protection Commission and renew registration every 2 years. The exercise is expected to be carried out from the 14th of August. Patricia Edusei-Poku is Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, and she joins me on Zoom with more on this. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. So first of all, enlighten us about the Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843, and why enforcement is important. Can you hear me, ma'am? Good afternoon to you. Can you hear me?
I didn't hear you just before this, so please repeat your question.
Yeah, so I was asking you to enlighten us about the Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843, and why enforcement is important.
Okay, so the Act powers individuals with certain rights under the law, and we are mandated as the regulator to explain this empowerment to people and to help them assert themselves under the law. At the same time, the Act also puts some principles out there that those who collect and use personal data must implement these requirements and comply with it, and to demonstrate accountability to us, the public, the data subjects. And so our duty is to hold them accountable to what the law expects them to do, and also the reasonable expectation of us, the data subjects. We stand in the stead of the people of Ghana to hold institutions accountable, and that is the enforcement that we are talking about, to check what they have said they will do with the data, to ensure that they are doing exactly that and not abusing the data. When I say abusing, it could be that they haven't implemented the relevant organizational measures that protects the data and ensures that there's continuous safeguarding of the data in their hands. You know, now data has a lot of value. It is what gives business their profitability, or what ensures that the business is effective and efficient and makes one business better than the other. The quality of your data depends on the worth of the institution or the company. And so if businesses are making themselves profitable based on the information they hold on us, then we, the public, have the right to also ensure that they are acting appropriately with the data. This is why enforcement is very critical to the successful delivery of our money.
Yes, and so what efforts have been made in the past to enforce the Act and our institutions complying?
To date, we have been cooperating a lot with institutions, building awareness, building capacity, ensuring that the businesses understand the interpretation of the Act, that they can put the legal requirements into business speak. That is our mandate to do, to ensure that the businesses have fully understood what we expect of them. We have been holding hands a lot, helping businesses to build their internal privacy programs. Many institutions, almost 1,000 institutions so far, have trained professionals to the certification level who have been placed in these institutions to implement the requirements of our privacy program, the nationwide legislative requirements. So we now want to check whether what they have agreed to do is what they are actually doing.
And so what would the enforcement exercise entail, and what sanctions are applicable to corporates?
So in the Ghana Act, we need to prosecute in order to apply fines and sanctions. But we will also be naming and shaming and bringing negligent leaders to order, those who are not enabling their institutions to follow the path that the law directs that they should. Because if the topmost positions and roles in the organization are not making the appropriate decisions to implement the requirements of data protection, you will find that the whole institution is defaulting from the front line to senior management. They are not implementing the reasonable expectation of us, the public. When you go into hospitals, you will expect some sort of effective management of the data and the sensitive information you give to them. Same in education, same in other institutions. And so we expect that the institution will be waking up to the fact that they have some responsibility to implement the requirements of the Data Protection Act. So we'll be attending some premises, doing spot checks on clearly published on the clearly published areas of the Act. First, checking if they are registered with the Commission, whether they've trained a professional, whether they are using appropriate technology, whether they are implementing security measures and additional organizational measures that educate the staff, for example, that tells staff exactly what they can and cannot do in the institution. This is the kind of thing we'll be looking for in our spot checks.
Well,
and those who are defaulting on these will be arrested by the police.
So that's set to start on the 14th of August. I want to ask you about a warning you issued last month, a public warning on data breaches by operators of online apps. How far has that gone? Has the situation improved?
So we first, you remember that on 12th June, the DPC published the challenge we are having with a lot of complaints with those who have applied for these loan apps. We, for that whole week, were telling the public about, warning them about these loan apps and challenging the Bank of Ghana and Cybersecurity Authority, our peer regulators, to wake up and take action. Following our action, 14th Bank of Ghana then published a long list of these known non-compliant loan app developers and users and loan companies. Following this, on 12th July, the Cybersecurity Authority also held a press conference following a day of arresting a lot of these loan operators. 422 of them, fraudsters, were arrested, 419 being Ghanaians and 3 being of Chinese, Pakistani, and Indian origin were arrested as a result of this joint effort, collaborative effort of these multiple agencies.
Yeah, and that's some headway we've made, but something else developing, and I would like for the director to show this letter that has been going around. Some fraudsters deciding to use a letter from the DPC to fraud loan app victims. They pay 30 to 50 cedis a year for this letter to send to their contacts to exonerate themselves from their debt shaming situation.
Thank you for bringing this up. I would like to bring this to the attention of the general public. The Data Protection Commission do not collect personal data of any member of the public in this way. Our letterheads do not go out to ask people to bring their personal data to us to help them resolve loan application. This is clearly a fraudulent approach by these loan companies and some opportunities in the ecosystem. And we have also reported this to the cybersecurity authorities to hunt down these guys and bring them to order.
Final message for people watching, I don't know about this and also about the exercise you intend to take.
So the final message is especially to data protection compliant authorities and institutions across the nation to wake up and do the needful, comply with the requirements of the Data Protection Act, take action now, and contact the commission, get yourself registered, commence the implementation of your internal privacy program, because we are aligning the data protection requirements with the digitization of the economy. It is critical to the success of our digitized economy. We have to jointly enable an unlocking of the potential of data in the Ghana economy and enable appropriate access and sharing to data and to increase innovation and to promote the use of digitized information appropriately in the national ecosystem. And so we are taking this enforcement week, triggering the enforcement date and enforcing the law actively from 14th August, and will not be dealing lightly with those who are ignoring the requirements of this law and not registering with the commission and taking action.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Patricia Eduse-Poku, Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission. Thank you for your time. Well,